All right, so we are back with Waqas, Ahmed. It's been a few months since we talked about Imran Khan, but the story goes on and on and on. Last time we talked, Waqas, it was they had just done the assassination attempt on Imran Khan. He has survived. He continues to survive. Um, but since then, the past couple days, I wanted to bring you back because the past couple days they've done this arrest attempt. There's a thing going on at the court in Lahore. More rallies. So there's a lot to update here. But also in the meantime, I gather you've got some more information about the coup. Which I guess I'm still calling it a coup. I don't know where the debate is at about the coup, but we're gonna continue to call it that here. So I don't know, Vikas, maybe we should go. Do you want to try to go from? Do you want to talk about let's talk about the coup first, because you've done some long threads on Twitter where you've got some new sources of information that you wanted to talk about how the coup happened in the first place and more details that you know. So why don't we start with that?
Yeah, sure. So I've been looking at this for the past year, like really deep diving, looking into every detail. And initially, when it happened, Imran Khan said, and a lot of people at that time said that this was a coup initiated by the Americans, and they wanted the Pakistani government toppled, Imran Khan's government toppled. And this was like an foreign-funded regime change, which has had its merits, but there were no clear indications, no real proofs of this. While studying all this and while going through this and interviewing people, looking at documents, it turns out this was like really complicated, but the bottom line is it was initiated by the army chief at that time, General Qamar Javed Bajwa. He wanted his prime minister removed. And the way he did it was like covering all his bases. So this story starts in 2021. In 2021, Qamar Javed Bajwa approaches this foreign lobbying guy, Robert Grenier. Robert Grenier is the former station chief of the CIA in Pakistan. He used to be in Islamabad. I guess that's how he made relationships with these Pakistani military guys. This happened while Imran Khan's government was in power. So Imran Khan is the prime minister, Qamar Javed Bajwa is the army chief. At this point, this Bajwa reaches out to Grenier through a third party. A member of Imran Khan's own party reaches out to Grenier and says that we need your lobbying services. And they transfer around 150,000 US dollars to this guy. So this guy starts lobbying, but he's not lobbying for the Pakistani government, even though the US government has this thing called FARA declaration. FARA is Foreign Agents Registration Act. So anyone who is lobbying on the behalf of a foreign government must be a registered agent in America, and they have to declare that. So Robert Grenier makes this FARA declaration, says that he's working on behalf of the Pakistani government. But the Pakistani government doesn't know. He's actually working on behalf of the Pakistani military. And Imran Khan doesn't know, even though he's the prime minister. And there's this FARA declaration that happens secretly. So Robert Grenier starts lobbying. But what is he lobbying about? He's not lobbying about Imran Khan. He's not lobbying about Pakistan. He's lobbying about a specific person. He's lobbying about General Qamar Javed Bajwa. He's pushing him in DC, basically. So Robert Grenier hires another guy, the former Pakistani ambassador Hussain Haqqani, to do this lobbying. And Hussain Haqqani is a very well-connected guy in DC. Hussain Haqqani starts reaching out to people.
I've seen Hussain Haqqani speak in. I saw him speak in Delhi in 2013, I believe, and he writes books, right? He's talking about like new Pakistan, like how new Pakistan would be, and of course, I asked him. I was in the audience, so I asked him about Afghanistan and strategic depth, and he sort of said, "Well, yeah, that's got to change too with the new Pakistan." So
you might have noticed he was very anti-Pakistan army and Pakistani establishment.
Yeah, I would say he was talking about the need to change that. Yeah, I would say that was his message in 2013.
Yeah, he's not exactly talking about that anymore. Or he
Well, his views have evolved, I guess.
views evolve even when you're like really old, but sometimes money makes your views evolve even faster. It's a very good catalyst for opinions.
So tell
So
me.
Grenier reaches out to Hussein Haqqani and says that you have to lobby for Pakistan, and he's like, okay. And Hussein Haqqani receives a payment of $30,000 in his bank account, which is all it's documented. It's in the FARA documents that Hussein Haqqani accepts this payment. As soon as Hussein Haqqani accepts this payment, he starts talking about something completely different from what he has been talking about his whole life, like his career since at least the 80s. He starts saying that Pakistani military is the main power in Pakistan, and everyone must engage with Pakistani military and not with Imran Khan. And he starts making case for Bajwa being this amazing guy who can save Pakistan, who can reimagine Pakistan, and this starts happening, and nobody knows what's
So
like.
these are like public statements, reports, and
Yeah,
speeches. So he's out there doing
yeah,
this
he's
kind
he's
of
he's
publicly.
written
It's
an
not a behind the
article.
scenes
So
lobby. Yeah.
no, he starts writing articles. For example, there's this one article that whose title goes. I have to look it up. Uh,
While you look it up, let me tell you the best quote, the best Hussein Haqqani quote, which might be like the best quote I've ever heard from any politician ever. It was when there was this American guy who committed this crime in Pakistan. He shot somebody or something, and the Americans were trying to get him out. He was some
mhm.
kind of agent, and it was a long, convoluted story, unbelievable story. And then the Americans sort of tried to intercede on behalf of this spy or whatever, and Haqqani was in the government at the time, and Haqqani said something like, no, I'll always remember the quote. He said, if you're gonna send a Jason Bourne character into Pakistan, he should have the Jason Bourne skills to get out of Pakistan.
That was Raymond Davis. He was a contractor, a
There you
legend.
go.
Yeah. So,
So
like,
that
I'll
was good.
read you this headline.
Okay.
He in 2015. He's writing, "Why are we sending this attack helicopter in Pakistan?" This article is published in Hudson Institute.
Mhm.
Then, in Foreign Affairs, he writes this article: "Breaking up is not hard to do." That's the title of the article. He
Right.
wants a break. Why U.S.-Pakistani alliance is not worth the trouble. He's writing this in 2014, 2013, right?
And
Then
he's writing this basically saying America should stop.
stop engaging with Pakistan.
What? Okay.
Then in September, he receives this payment of $30,000, and he writes an article for The Hill, and the title is "U.S.-Pakistan relations need more candor."
Okay.
See, from breaking up is not hard to do to they need more candor. So there's a lot money can do. So he starts doing that. And the candor that he is talking about is engagement with the military, not
Okay.
with the civilian government, not with the democratically elected government, with the civilian government. And then he reaches this all. So everything I've told till now is based on publicly available documents. Now, then I had a few meetings with different people, inside sources, people who know. And they say Hussein Haqqani met General Tuck, had a secret meeting with Bajwa and the DGISI in the UAE around September of 2021. In that meeting, it was decided that Bajwa is going to come to the US and Hussein Haqqani will do lobbying for him. He will write a report for him, and he will build a case for having better relationships with Pakistani military. And that report is written, that report is public. So when Bajwa eventually goes in 2022, Bajwa goes to the US to try to make a case for his extension. That report does come out. It is publicly available on the Hudson website. So basically, the thing is, Bajwa wants Imran Khan removed, and he wants support of the opposition at home. That he manages to get the support of opposition at home, the PPP, the PMLN. He gets that support, and he also needs support from abroad. so that when he does he does a coup against a democratic government, he doesn't face any sanction, he doesn't face any trouble from the American. And for that purpose, he hires these lobbying people. Finally, in April, after having all his ducks in the row, after like figuring everything out, meanwhile, Imran Khan is sleeping. He does not know all of this is happening behind his back, that his own army chief has done all of this. So finally, in April, he goes through that coup. He topples Imran Khan's government. There is no noise from anywhere because he's covered Americans. Americans, I believe, have tacitly given him a go-ahead because the Undersecretary of the State, Donald Lu, has said to the Pakistani ambassador that Imran Khan, as a signal that Imran Khan is not acceptable to them either. So that cable is intercepted in Pakistan. Imran Khan grabs that cable and says the Americans are trying to remove him. What Imran Khan does not know is that Pakistanis are trying to remove him, and they have gotten approval of the Americans, and everyone wants him gone. So in April, they finally go ahead. But there is one entity that does not want Imran Khan gone, and that is the people of Pakistan. And people of Pakistan stand up in April, and they have put up a tough resistance, a resistance that I have never seen in Pakistani history. And it is like, even in like global events, if you look at recent events, such organized resistance has not been seen. For 1 year, the Pakistani military, the Pakistani opposition, the Pakistani police, everyone has, the Pakistani government, everyone had joined forces to torture Imran Khan's supporter, to kidnap Imran Khan's supporters, to sexually abuse him. They killed one journalist. They kidnapped many journalists. They tried to kill Imran Khan. Imran Khan got 4 bullets. Everything happened, but still they have not given up. So this brings us to our last meeting that we had, that there was an assassination attempt in November, and Imran Khan got 4 bullets. He had been on the bed since then, like he's been resting, he's been in his home since then. And the government, meanwhile, came up with a new strategy. The new strategy was to start these legal court cases against Imran Khan. And till now, they have 94 cases against him, making it physically impossible for him to go attend court hearings. So because if you have 94 cases, you have 94 court hearings. Some of them are bunched together, some of them are not, but you keep going all the way with 4 bullets in your leg. You can't even walk. With security threats, they already want to kill you. So Imran Khan keeps going to these, finally, he's like, I cannot go to these court cases anymore. And that is when they finally converge on his house. There are like hundreds of police officers with guns, tear gas, batons, chemical, expired tear gas that have become chemical weapons of sorts. They converge on his house. And then these people of Imran Khan's supporter, barricade this whole neighborhood. It's like something out of like Les Mis, the French Revolution. They create this barricade and they're pushing the police back. These protesters, these activists, they do not have weapons. They do have sticks. They do have stones. There are reports that they try to throw petrol in like bottles, like Molotov cocktails of sort, but that is not confirmed. But we do know that they resisted, and they pushed for 3 days. They have been pushing the police back, and the police has finally given up. The police has been finally pushed back.
And then there's also what's this march? I saw some march to the High Court or something. I saw this on Twitter.
So Imran Khan, meanwhile, while all this was happening, Imran Khan had government in 2 provinces, Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Imran Khan decided that everyone is going to resign. They're going to dissolve these assemblies. They finally dissolved these assemblies to force the government to have elections in at least these 2 provinces. So finally, and that case went to court. Eventually, the Supreme Court decided that elections must happen on 30th of April. The government realizing that Imran Khan is so popular that if they go into elections, Imran Khan is going to clean sweep, they decided to stop his election rallies. And now he cannot go to rallies, but he can go to his court hearings. So now they have turned these court hearings into election rallies. So Imran Khan today went from his house to a court hearing, and that walk, that drive from his house to the court became an election rally.
And because there are 94 of them going, any day he wants to have a rally, he can do it on a court date.
Yeah.
Wait, so the April 30th is the Supreme Court is called elections, national elections?
No, provincial.
No, just those two.
Elections. Yeah, but these two provinces are 70% of Pakistan. If they win these elections, then the government would be forced to have national elections also, because then the federal government would be like the mayorship of Islamabad. The federal government doesn't have actually a lot of powers, except for defense and foreign affairs. They don't have a lot. So they would be helpless. The police in two of the biggest provinces would be under Imran Khan's government, and they're really afraid of that.
What a situation. So what about Bajwa? So where he retired.
He retired in November.
So after all this,
after all the lobbying, after removing his prime minister, after trying everything, the thing is, in April of last year, when the people rose up against Bajwa, they made him to look really bad. Bajwa couldn't manage anything. The law and order situation in Pakistan got really bad. The military establishment couldn't handle anything. Internally, he lost support of his own generals. Externally, Americans were not really happy that this operation that he was supposed to do it cleanly, and he made a mess out of it. So nobody supported Bajwa. He went to DC to ask for his extension. He wanted to stay on for a couple of more years. But at DC, they were like, no, we can't do that. We cannot allow you to do that. You have made a huge mess out of it. So he comes back. He tries everything. Till the last moment, he tries everything. Nobody wants him there. So he finally has to retire. And while retiring, he chooses this guy who is his protege of sorts. He's like his second in command, who's going to follow the same policy that he's going to follow. The input he receives is from Nawaz Sharif, the former prime minister. Nawaz Sharif wants Asim Munir, the current chief of army staff, to become the new chief. And Bajwa hands over the military to Asim Munir, and Bajwa retires. Then Bajwa flees from Pakistan. He's now, like, imagine the irony, the military general, the former military chief of Pakistan Army, is now in the UAE because he does not feel safe in Pakistan.
So what's Mr. Munir, what's Colonel Munir been up to?
General Asim Munir. General Asim Munir is carrying out the same policies as Mr. Bajwa. He's not really helping Imran Khan. Like, Imran Khan doesn't even ask for help. The only thing PTI is asking for is elections on April 30th. They are trying their best to stop these elections from happening. Sometimes, so like recently, the Election Commission of Pakistan said that they cannot hold election, which is their constitutional responsibility. The Pakistani military has refused to give security for elections. The Pakistani government and the police have refused security for elections. The Election Commission says we cannot hold elections on time. So all of these Pakistani institutions have come together to delay elections because they are so afraid of Imran Khan. And this is the policy that they're continuing.
And okay, and then we have to, I guess we have to also revisit the parties, because the coup, or whatever we were calling it before, reconfiguration or whatever it is. I mean, the defectors from Imran Khan's party were important, and also the old parties were important. So the Sharif party and the Zardari party. I know that's not their actual names, but
MLN and PPP.
Yeah. So what have they been up to? And
okay, they are in the government and they're trying to manage all these things. In addition to that, Pakistan is going through an economic crisis and it keeps getting worse. The rupee keeps losing value. Inflation keeps going up. Inflation right now is almost 50%. So, and like people,
and that was like before too, right? Like Imran Khan was dealing with that too, and struggling with it, and this was part of the reason we thought the US was involved, because he was making deals with Russia over food and energy.
Yeah. In April of last year, whole world was going through some sort of
Exactly.
economic
Yeah.
crisis. There was the supply chain disruptions that caused inflation all over the world. It caused inflation in India, Bangladesh, everywhere. India managed by getting cheaper fuel from Russia. Pakistan could not manage to get cheaper fuel from Russia because this coup happened, and then we were trying to balance our act with Americans. So since they did not get cheaper fuel, and fuel is the biggest cost that Pakistani government has, the biggest price Pakistani government has to pay, the biggest commodity that they import. And since then, Pakistan has been importing these costly fuel, and the oil prices in Pakistan are really high. They keep going higher and higher, and the poor people in Pakistan have been suffering. So one way to get out of it was to go to the IMF. And Pakistan since then has been trying to negotiate with the IMF. And this government that does not have political legitimacy has been unable to negotiate with the IMF because they cannot follow the conditions of the IMF. IMF conditions are really tough. They want fuel prices to be risen, and they want taxes to be increased, especially on the rich Pakistanis. And this government cannot do that. The government cannot increase taxes on rich Pakistanis because they rely on the support of rich Pakistanis. They cannot increase fuel prices because they rely on, they want to rely on the vote of the people in the next elections that are imminent. So what is happening is that the negotiation with the IMF are going horribly. Just recently, the government started making this narrative that IMF is asking Pakistan to get rid of its nukes. So this is like a completely false narrative. This is like to make an excuse that once the IMF talks fail, once Pakistan collapses, once Pakistan goes bankrupt, they're going to say, we went bankrupt because IMF wanted to buy Pakistani nukes or wanted to get rid of Pakistani missiles. This
So
is like,
if the economic crisis gets bad enough, is it possible they would allow Imran Khan to come back so he could deal with a completely miserable economic situation?
No, one of the reasons they want Pakistan to collapse is maybe if Pakistan goes bankrupt, the elections will be delayed. Imagine that. If you sometimes like if you're a kid and you don't want to go to school, you just want to stay at home, you cut off your arm instead of an excuse that I'm sick. This is what they're doing. They're cutting off their arm just to delay elections. They're going to make Pakistan go bankrupt just to delay elections.
Well, so what's going to happen? Well, I mean, there's still got to be some chance that elections are going to happen. I mean, if people, it's been historically possible that people can force an unpopular government to hold an election. It's not completely impossible in this case, it seems to me. But I mean, I think the size of the rallies and the size of the resistance is amazing. But I have to say, I am also impressed with the pig-headedness and persistence of the post-coup regime in hanging on. This is pretty amazing fortitude they've had to hold on in spite of
but see, this is a problem that like I am also have been recently thinking about. If all the people come out in the streets and then all the institutions are against those people, what do they have to do except for shedding blood? What do they have to do to force the government's hand? And I don't understand how these things actually work, logistically. Now people are on the street and they want elections, and the military doesn't want elections. The courts do not want elections, except for maybe 2-3 judges. The courts do not want elections. The police doesn't want elections. The government doesn't want elections, and they will try everything. They will try to make excuses. They might start, some false flag operation and say there's like terrorism in Pakistan. If they try all of these things, what can the people do to force the government's hand to make them move towards elections? And this is what we will learn if you keep observing the situation in Pakistan, how do people force, how do people drag this government and this institution, this entrenched status quo, drag them towards elections? This it has to be seen. I do not know how this will eventually work out. It is very strange. It's like unstoppable force versus the immovable object.
Yeah.
The immovable object is the Pakistani government, the Pakistani establishment, the Pakistani status quo. The unstoppable force is the force of the people, and they're
Yeah.
working every day. And this is not good for the country. The economy is suffering. Everything is bad. People, the human rights of people have been trampled upon. People can't say what they want to say. There is no journalism in Pakistan anymore. The media is completely under control. So the earth had to shake for,
Yeah.
there had to be like the tectonic plates had to move to stop the will of the people, and this is what we are observing right now.
So it seems to me, okay, so we have the same dilemma we've been talking about for almost a year in a way, and we're not going to resolve it. We have to see what happens, but um it seems to me there's only really two possibilities in the next few months, and one is that they uh have an election, and the other is they actually arrest Imran Khan, which
Or kill him.
or kill him. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
they arrest or kill him, if they arrest him, they're going to keep him for a while.
Yeah.
And if they arrest him and keep him for a while, people will lose all hope in Pakistan. Right now,
Yeah.
Pakistanis are leaving Pakistan in droves. Everyone I talk to, he's like, I want to leave Pakistan. Give me tips on like grad school
Mhm.
tips and job tips. However,
Yeah.
I want to leave wherever, Dubai, US, Canada, Australia. I just want to. These are educated people with master's degrees,
People with the option. Yeah, of course.
people with the option. They will lose all hope in Pakistani democracy. Second thing that will happen is if they kill Imran Khan, then there will be a military coup. There is no way that this will happen. There will be divisions in the military. There
Yeah.
might be some officers that want, try to foment a rebellion of some sort. And then Pakistani government is like so incompetent, they're unable to handle it. And the military will have to step in at that time, which may be what they already want. So they want
Yeah.
Pakistan to be completely controlled for the next few years. So to
Yeah, so it's like you think of Zulfikar Bhutto, right? I mean, it's that kind of situation. They'll arrest
exactly
him,
that
he'll
kind of
die in
situation.
jail. Yeah.
So when Zulfikar Bhutto's government was removed by the Pakistani military, Zulfikar Bhutto was put in jail, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And this dilemma it's the same dilemma. So the person who put Zulfikar Bhutto in jail, he had two choices: either to let him go or to kill him.
Yeah.
If he lets him go, then he knew Zulfikar Bhutto will not leave him. So it's
Yeah.
either him or them. And this is the same dilemma faced by the Pakistani government and the Pakistani military right now. If they let Imran Khan go, if the elections happen, if Imran Khan wins that elections, he will not spare these people. There will be
Yeah.
summary judgments and firing squads. This is what
Yeah.
Pakistan is going to head towards, and this is their survival. This is their lives they have to protect. To do that, and we have seen they have gone to every extent to stop that from happening. And they have tried to assassinate him. They have killed the journalists who supported him. So they're still going to try to do that. If they kill him, if they successfully kill him, Pakistan is going to have a military coup, just like it happened after, because they killed Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, and the military had to step in. Military had to, had the worst time in Pakistan history with the civil liberties and civil rights. They had to oppress people. They had to like clamp down on every kind of free expression in the country for 10 years. And this is what we are looking at right now. If they are successful in shutting up Imran Khan in any way, they'll have to change the shape of what Pakistan looks like.
Yeah. The change the direction of where it
Yeah.
was headed. Yeah. Well, that's a lot less optimistic than.
I'll tell you something optimistic.
Okay, all right. Let's end on an optimistic note. Yeah.
The scenes we have seen in the past 3 days, and the struggle of people, the passion of people, the will, and the organization, how people have organically organized. It's not just the PTI, it's not PTI leadership that has organized people. These are organic movement. Many of these are people who do not even support Imran Khan. They just hate the opposition. They hate the
Yeah.
status quo. all of them have come together, and they have put such a brilliant, such amazing, I'm so proud of my people for putting up this amazing resistance. They continue to resist, even if they're not successful in the short run. This nation has learned something really important, really invaluable. This resistance will keep on. This will continue. They might crack down. Like, you know what happened in Iran when they removed Mossadegh? They were successful for a while, but people will come back with a vengeance. If they win right now, people will come back with a vengeance and the world will see. And if they lose right now, then that means the people have won. So in any case, you cannot stop the will of the people, especially a nation that has risen, that has woken up.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that's an interesting example, Iran, because the revolution completely changed Iran, right? I mean, there's nothing of the structure that existed when Mossadegh was overthrown after the 70s. So so this is big. Wherever this goes, this is the future of Pakistan is definitely in the balance. Wow. All right, thank you. We'll come back. We'll have you back in a couple of months, I'm sure, or sooner.
Thank you for having me, Justin.
All right, thanks a lot.